Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA video, we're going to be talking about a comparison of the latest screenshots revealed for the Trilogy Definitive Edition for Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. So, over the weekend, we talked about how new screenshots were revealed. Well, today, we're going to be looking at the original version versus the remastered versions and their graphics, which I always find to be very interesting, especially since we've only gotten one trailer for this game and we haven't gotten any gameplay footage yet. It's very interesting to see what these comparisons look like, so let's just go ahead and dive into them right now. So our first one right here, I'll show you guys the original one first. This is the one of Claude sort of standing in the street. And the thing I want you guys to focus on, like the things in the background. So see how the building interiors, they look like they're 2D. The light bulbs look like they're like these hexagon shapes. And Claude himself just looks blocky and misshapen. The ground doesn't really have any details here. So the next screenshot is going to be from the Nintendo Switch. Still the definitive edition, but still Nintendo Switch. So here we go. This is what it looks like right here. And you guys can see the lights actually look like lights. The buildings look like they have interiors. Claude looks like an actual person. So I would say that that is a huge improvement on the original version versus the remastered version. That's for sure. Our next shot right here, this is Claude driving the car next to the Easy Credit Auto Shop. And a couple of things you want to look for here. The level of detail on the car. The car looks really bad. I mean, it was fine for the time, but it just looks really, really bad in terms of the interior and the door handle, the paint, the windows, and then obviously Claude himself. He kind of looks like 2D there. He doesn't even look like a real person. Now compare it to the most recent one. You can see the reflections on the windows, how much crisper and cleaner the lines look, how much better Claude appears to be. Even things in the background, like the night sky and the lights shining through them and the neon you're getting off of the Easy Credit Auto Shop. So a big, big difference right there. Huge improvement so far in GTA 3. Sticking with Grand Theft Auto 3, this one right here of Claude driving the blue car. And I know these aren't 100% perfect, but they're pretty close. Again, focus on the interiors, stuff in the background, and the vehicle, how low level the seats look, how like bad the mirrors look, and the car. It looks like there's like so many sharp edges going on here. And that's just not the case with real life vehicles. You don't see like sharp edges on cars. They're for the most part relatively smooth. And now taking a look at the definitive edition one here, you can obviously see, now this again is for Nintendo Switch, but still definitive edition, how much cleaner the cars look, the lines on the ground, even the buildings in the background have more depth to them. So far, just looking at these three screenshots, I am incredibly impressed with what Rockstar has been able to do so far. So those are our ones from Grand Theft Auto 3. Now let's move over to the ones from Vice City. So let's actually begin with this shot right here of our three characters, Tommy Ken and Lance Vance, walking down the stairs. Now, this one, I will say, the characters just look a little bit better. I don't know what it is about this next screenshot I'm about to show you, but the characters look better. Like, they seem kind of wacky in this next screenshot. Now, everything else, I think, has been improved on. Like, for example, the red stairs, the railings, the stained glass in the background. Let's just go ahead and jump into that shot right now. You guys can see there, that's the difference. I don't know what happened to Lance Vance. Like, his face in particular looks like it went through some weird reconstructive surgery. I don't know what's going on, Lance Vance, but that does not look very good. There's something about their faces and then like the outfits and then like the chest hair and the chains. It just looks all a little funky to me, but that's our first definitive edition comparison right there. Our next one involves the gang at the Malibu Club, and I think this one is a huge upgrade. I mean, you can especially tell with like the characters that are leaning over, just how like blocky and triangle-y their not only body parts look like, but their shirts. And you can obviously see that the background, like the lights and the actual Malibu Club itself, does not have a lot of detail. And then obviously moving to the definitive edition, you can see way better, like the haziness coming off of the lights in the background, the table, the ground, the chalkboard, the chairs they're sitting on. The characters themselves look less blocky. They now no longer have those like sort of triangle textures on them. Tommy looks fine in this shot. I don't know what it is about that other one that was a little bit bizarre. But that's our next shot right there. Moving on to a look of downtown Ocean Drive. You guys can see there that the palm trees look 2D. The night sky looks like a weird Photoshop gradient. The road, not a whole lot of detail or cars. Buildings look completely 2D. And you're not able to see very far either. And then when we transition to the new shot, you guys can see the palm trees look real. There's more of them, so it feels like an actual world. The road looks better. Buildings more 3D. We can obviously see further thanks to that increased draw distance. The sky looks good. The ocean water looks more realistic. I think I'm most excited for the Vice City one because I feel like we're going to see a ton of differences there. But honestly, all three are going to be absolutely incredible. But I think this particular shot here of the weather, the foliage, and the trees really does ring home quite nicely. So that's our next Vice City one. And our last shot of GTA Vice City right here of Tommy with his feet up on Ken Rosenberg's desk. And obviously, you can tell here that this is the original version. It looks a little blocky. The things in the background look 2D. Even the things on his desk look 2D. And I want to now show you the definitive edition. The lighting is better. Everything is better. I don't know what's going on with his arms. We're getting some weird like hot dog design here. Or did Tommy forget his like sunscreen when he went outside, but only on his arms? That seems really weird. I know this is on the Nintendo Switch. I just don't know how his arms got so tan. And maybe that's just the lighting. I don't know. I'm not one to question a man's sunbathing habits, but those are your screenshot comparisons from Vice City. And now let's move on to the ones from GTA San Andreas. So I actually want to start with this one right here. This is of Ryder and CJ leaving Grove Street with the baseball bats. And obviously I want you guys to focus on the characters. They are in the foreground and just everything about them. Their faces, their clothing, the baseball bats, the accessories. But then stuff in the background like the car, the road, the fence, the house. You guys are going to notice a huge difference here, and the sky too. I mean, look at this. You can actually see that there is an interior to the house they're coming from. The car doesn't look like a toy model. The characters, a whole lot more detail here. So this, I know this isn't like one of the new shots we looked at. Well, it was one of the ones from Friday, but this was a really well done comparison here, so I just wanted to show you guys that. Another comparison I wanted to show you is one of the skylines of Los Santos. Look at this. You can like really tell that the palm trees are like super 2D. What kind of sky looks like that where it's just fluorescent blue? That's really weird. And the buildings basically have no detail on them. Whether it's the one in the foregrounds or the ones in the background, they just simply have no detail on them whatsoever. And then compared to this shot right here, what a huge difference. Palm trees look real. Buildings are actually legible. The ones way far in the distance actually look like they have windows and depth to them. And they look like actual skyscrapers and structures, not just 2D models. So that looks awesome. Not to mention the sky as well. That looks way more realistic. So well done, Rockstar. Going back to some characters, we've got CJ on the motorcycle here being chased by the cops. Now, obviously, the vehicles look like they've been massively improved. And that's a huge part. I mean, it's Grand Theft Auto. Cars are a massive part of this world. But even like the little things, like the lights on the cars, the police sirens, the way things look when you go under a dark underpass or bridge. And in the definitive edition, even though this is the Switch version here, you can still see that there is a massive improvement on all those things. The lighting, the cars, the textures, CJ's character himself. And you're not going to be driving cars unless you're on the road. The roads got massively improved too. So overall, sort of the unsung things you might not think about every day suddenly just became very important when you go from the original to the remastered versions of these games. And then our final one here from GTA San Andreas, also looking at sort of the skyline. Look at the things here like the Vinewood sign. Doesn't have a lot of detail here. The buildings, especially as they get further away, they start to look like 2D. You can't really tell the difference between like buildings and other structures and streets. They sort of just blend all the way together. And I know this is on the Nintendo Switch, but still, you can tell the difference. The Vinewood sign more legible, the trees more 3D, the buildings more pronounced. So all in all, Rockstar really did an incredible job with this. I guess you could say the guys over at Grove Street Games as well. They did an incredible job with this too. And that is your comparison of the remastered graphics versus the original graphics for the GTA Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, which is going to be arriving in just a few short days. So that should give you a good idea of what these games are going to look like when they arrive and their comparison to the original, because I know some of you guys are probably going back and playing the original right now, or you might just be looking at footage online trying to compare, what the game's going to look like. And this is it. So I'm really excited about it, but I would, of course, love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. What do you think of the graphics? Are they good, bad, wacky, somewhere in between? Let me know what you guys are thinking in those comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Trilogy Definitive Edition videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.